am so glad you're here with me today. I'm Allison Peterson, and I'm taking you on a little bit of a walk through my backyard. Look, there's the golf course that's behind my house. It's so beautiful in the winter. Even though it's not green, it is just so inviting. And so I wanted to invite you out here today to my backyard so that we could talk about this time between Christmas and New Year's and the beautiful opportunity we have during this time to reset. It is absolutely my favorite time of year to pause, reflect, refresh, reset, and recenter. And I really find it to be a vital part of my life, but especially my year. It's also my husband and I's anniversary. And so we always have a chance to get away. And so it's so nice to do that and to have that time to reflect. And so today I want to talk to you a little bit about the idea of goal setting, but not just goal setting for coaches, friends. Goal setting personally and professionally, because I have found that you cannot separate these two things. You can't separate personal from professional. You do coaching and life every day, and it's not going away. You're always doing those two things at once. And so I find that really doing this personal reset for me helps me grow as a coach during this kind of quiet break time between Christmas and New Year's, when the holiday pieces are over and there's some more time for you to have some downtime and some rest and some thinking time. And so I just want to encourage you today around this idea of personal and professional goal setting. Again, I don't think they can be separated. So if you work on your personal goals first, you'll actually impact both your personal life and your professional life. I completely have seen this work magic in my life. So I really want to take a minute to share it with you today. So what I say is to work on your personal goals first. And that to me is a lot of reflection time. It is, I look back at my journals that I wrote in all year long. I look back at the books that I read. I just kind of look back at the course of the year and remember what it was that I learned. What was I working on? What was I thinking about? These are the things that help me to recenter around all of the things that I want to take from 2022 and bring it into 2023. And so I start thinking about some important questions. Questions like, what do I want to prioritize in this new year? What have I lost focus on? Or what have I lost in my prioritizing? Where do I want to focus personally? Where do I feel overwhelmed? This is a big one, friends, because I know that coaches often feel so overwhelmed, especially this time of year. So one of the things that I ask myself is, why am I feeling overwhelmed? Because I often find that this time of year in coaching, things get overwhelming. And especially if you're a new coach and you've not experienced the ebb and flow of the school year yet, there's usually this kind of peak around October, November, where there is some coaching going on and some progress is being made. But come after Thanksgiving break and into December, that just goes downhill fast. Things start to really decrease in terms of your ability to get teachers to try new things and for your ability to kind of keep things moving. And it feels like all of a sudden the work that you've been doing, you lost progress on, or you're just not sure what has happened and what happened to all the coaching opportunities? And am I even doing this right? So in that overwhelm, I really try to step back and ask myself, why am I feeling overwhelmed? Where am I actually seeing progress in my coaching? Where am I actually seeing progress in the work that I'm doing every day at home and taking care of my family or at work? What kind of things am I making progress on so that I can stop feeling like I haven't made progress and that I'm just so overwhelmed? So really reflecting on my overwhelm. I take a lot of time to write that down, and I take a lot of time to think through the things that I want for the new year in my life, personally and professionally. And so while I'm doing that work of writing and thinking and reading and rereading, I really end up finding this one word that kind of rises to the top for me. I don't know if you've heard about this kind of fad on social media about the one word. Well, if you choose your one word, they say that you should do that instead of choosing a New Year's resolution, because New Year's resolutions don't stick. They say that 15 days in, they're already out the window. But if you choose a word for the year, one single word to be your anchor, it really has a lot of power to change everything in your life. It has the ability to change that personal life side, that personal perspective that you're using, and re-anchor you personally. But then it has the ability to come over into your professional life and re-anchor you there as well. And so I have found that to be true. So every year for the past 4 years, I've chosen a word of the year. And it has been a really powerful process, but it also has been something that has started as a personal reflection time and finding that personal word, and then transferred over to being something that was an anchor for me professionally as well. Last year in 2022, my word was plant, which seems like a weird word, friends. I know that, but I feel like God gave me that word in some scripture that I found, and it was really revealing to me that all the stages of my life right now are being replanted or are planting in some way, shape, or form. And so what I really was anchoring to with that personally was feeling like it's okay to be at this stage. It's okay to be at the starting point of something. And my family had just moved to a new house. We had just moved to a new town. I had just moved to a new school. So a lot of those things were coming up with this word. It was just like starting over and replanting. And so that was really personal for me, but it was also able to something I could easily transfer over to seeing what I was doing at work, because at work I was also planting a new instructional coaching program, and I was planting the work I was doing with my teachers. And so I took that one word and I really made it my anchor for the whole year. And I put my one word on a bracelet and I wear it. And then I also collect anything that I can find, the kind of scrapbooking a little bit about anything I can find around my word all year long, to really just continue to anchor to it. And I see new ways and new revelations that open up when I have that word, that one word that's my anchor. It's so much more powerful than a New Year's resolution. But then like I said, I can take this into my professional work. So as I understand and identify my one word personally, then I'm finding that I can start working on my professional goals for the first quarter. I really think that as you start thinking about your professional goals as a coach, it's really, really important to think about them in smaller chunks. The whole idea is you need to be able to see your progress as a new coach. We say in the New to Coaching group that if change is the goal, then progress is the win. And if you can't see your progress, then you can't feel like you're making any. And so setting goals for smaller chunks of time helps you see your progress better. So if you set a goal for the first 9 weeks of school, and then really think about something that you're going to be able to accomplish and achieve in those first 9 weeks, that is something you'll be able to really diligently work towards. Like, for example, last year, my goal for the first 9 weeks of school was to meet with my teachers about their MAP data after we ran the MAP assessment. And so I felt like that was a really clear goal and a really clear thing I could do with a really clear deadline. And so by having those things in place, I knew every day when I showed up at school what I was going to do. I had a list of to-do things. I had things my admin wanted me to do. I had a bunch of things. But when I was wondering what should I be doing right now, I knew I should be setting up those one-on-one meetings with teachers. I should be looking at the data, making sure I'm ready for the meetings. I should be having those meetings. I should be doing the work of making sure I get every teacher their touch point about their data so that we can be looking at that together and using it efficiently, right? But if I had set that as an end of semester goal, I could have put it off or waited, but we really needed to make that happen in the first 9 weeks. So it was a great goal for me. So think about your goals for professional goal setting really, really tangibly and really, really small scale, because then you're going to be able to see them happen sooner. And that one word of anchoring that you're choosing for your personal word can come into that professional goal setting so that you can see. I knew that if I was planting a new instructional coaching program and we were launching a new use of MAP data, our school had never used it before, then that was part of planting, was teaching the teachers how to read and use their data for their instruction. I was on par with what I knew I needed to be doing at the beginning of the school year because I had done the personal work to reflect and choose my word. I had done the professional work of setting small quarterly goals that were going to be focused and task and action oriented so that I knew I could turn around and start working on those. So I knew that doing this work of personally reflecting on where I want to be with my priorities, with my emotions, with my focus for the year, those three things could start me off with success in setting my professional goals, because it really starts here, friends. You've got to start with working on yourself so that you can be a better leader when you step into your coaching role. So as you step out and start working on your goal setting for the year, I want you to write a lot of things down. Write down your reflections. So write down your reflections, set your one word for the year, and then start working on some professional goals with more clarity and more understanding of what you're trying to do holistically, not just in one area of your life. So if this